Now I'm unmuted, and I think we are live. Give me a second, I'll pull me up here. I'm about to tweet this. Join us on YouTube and learn about AWS. Post this here. I'm gonna tweet it. Post it on Facebook, and here we go. Posting it on Facebook. And I can see we already have a viewer on the stream. That's really nice. Welcome LinkedIn as well. I'm posting it here. Good. We're live. Join us on YouTube and learn about AWS at this address. So, hi and welcome to the stream. I'm Dennis. I'm a developer advocate at Amazon Web Services. And I am in the process of trying to get this all to work. It's like every time I've been streaming so many times, and every time it's new because for some reason, wait, let me pull that down. For some reason, it's always something different, and the lighting's different today. The camera's in a new place, and you can see I've got some. Oh, I've got the sunlight from it's outside. It's sunny outside for a change. Anyway, so what I'm going to do today is what I'm doing pretty much every Friday, or now every second Friday of the week. Let me look one thing up real quick. That was Elements, I think. I have a raffle bot, YouTube. Yeah, use this channel. And let's takes another second. I'm not sure if it's the right one. Most of the time I'm picking the wrong one. So let's go to stream. Yes, I think Streamlabs was it, because I've got a chat bot there to make sure that I can run the raffle. So thanks everyone for joining. It is 3 o'clock. It's past 3 o'clock already, PM here where I am in Germany, near Hamburg. I'm in a small town near Hamburg, Germany, and I'm going to got a hay fever, so don't worry if I constantly scratch my own face. It is that time of the year. All right, so let me take off those glasses, because that's really annoying with the reflection from the sunlight. Okay, cool. All right, what I'm going to do is I will start the raffle bot for the giveaway, because I'm giving away AWS credits again today. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. Okay, let's see. Custom raffle bot start giveaway. So that's running. So if you type, it takes a second. It's going to announce it on the chat. Yeah, cool. Anyway, while it's doing this, let me switch to the slide deck real quick, because I prepared a slide deck. Right, the raffle has started. Use !raffle to enter the raffle for your chance to win AWS credits. Having that said, today I'm working with a slide deck because people have asked me to, because sometimes the text of the questions wasn't readable because I just used the YouTube videos. So today I prepared a slide deck with all the questions, and I hope, where's my PowerPoint now? Here it is. Okay. And yeah, I think it's readable now. So welcome. Hi, everyone. Great that you've joined, either during the stream right now or after the fact if you're viewing this on demand. I'm Dennis. I'm a, sorry. I'm a developer advocate at Amazon Web Services. That means I'm taking care of developers all around the world, mostly in my own region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but in general, all around the world. And developers, for us, it's a really broad term. If we speak about developers, we talk about everybody who's hands-on technical with AWS, like actual software developers, solutions architects, sysops admins, infosec folks, even scientists working with quantum computing or something like that. So what I'm trying to do is really talk about the technical things without the marketing stuff. I've been a developer for many years, for almost 30 years now, I think. I started 1993. So that's been 28 years, almost 3 decades. And I've always been technical. I used to be a solutions architect at Amazon Web Services, supported a large global customer, and I'm doing this right now. So what I'm going to do is I will go through 6 questions, the 6 questions that we had in the last 2 weeks on the channel. And I always invite you to look my questions. I put them out every second day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's a new question, just 1 minute, not even a minute, for you to learn for your certification or just learn about AWS. But I would say I will just start now with the first question. We don't have too many folks on the chat, which isn't a problem. I will just go ahead. I will ask you, which of the following offers the most available IP addresses? And I hope you can all hear me. Can you give me a quick indication on the chat if you can hear me? The microphone's on. Let me turn that on real quick. Let me see, just to make sure that everybody can hear me. Yes, I'm getting an echo, so that works. Okay, cool. Perfect. So we got that. So the first question, which of the following offers the most available IP addresses? And if you are on the chat right now, and if you are able to type, what do you think? Let me know. Is it A/20 and or B/16 or C/28, or is it D/18? And yeah, I can see a few people are joining, which is really great. SPC, hey, good to see you. It's /16. Anybody else? What does everybody else think? Which of the following offers the most available IP addresses? And SPC, since you're answered already, bonus question: do you know what this notation is called? Or this is part of a notation, of a larger notation. And do you know what this is called? The acronym for it? Hey, Hermanand. Good. Hemanand. I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. Hemanand. Great to see you. Great to have you on the raffle. Do you know, Hemanand and everybody else, do you know, is it A, B, C, or D? Which of the following offers the most available IP addresses? And the bonus question today is, what is the notation called that this is part of? Give you a few more seconds. I know there's a lag between me talking and it showing up. I need to take off my glasses. I don't see anything without. Yeah, all right. So the correct question, SPC was correct. The correct question is 16/16. Yes, SPC, this is being used for subnets, but what I was looking for is CIDR, C-I-D-R. Let me pull up another window real quick. No, I can't do that right now. Oh, I can't share another window. Let me see. Oh, no, I didn't want to stop the share. Okay, I'll share my screen. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I'll go back to the PowerPoint. So CIDR. CIDR stands for Classless Internet Domain Routing, I think. Let me see. Let me look it up. CIDR acronym, before I tell you something wrong. It is Classless Interdomain Routing. So you have, it usually is, you have an IP address or an IP address range, and then you have a / number. So I'll put in the chat, for instance, 192.168.178.4/32. But I've just put in the chat, this is a CIDR, an internet address, an IP address in CIDR notation, or an IP address range in CIDR notation. Having the 32 in the end means this is only this one address. So the larger the number behind the /, the smaller the associated network. And if you have a 32, that network consists only really of one IP address. And if you would have, if you have 16, you have many more addresses. So 16 is the largest offers the most available IP addresses. And one more important thing for AWS, in an AWS VPC, in an AWS Virtual Private Cloud, you can never have more than a /16. So if you need more IP addresses, you need to create multiple VPCs that all have their own address ranges. So 16 is the maximum of IP addresses that you can have. So that's the first one. Welcome to everybody who joined. We're talking about AWS Solutions Architect Associate Certifications questions today. I'm going through a number of questions that I put out on my playlist in the last couple of weeks, and I'm inviting you to join the chat and help us answer these questions. So that was the first one. The second one, which of these would you supply for a manual auto-scaling policy? And I know some of you have already answered this on the respective videos on YouTube, but never mind. Just put it out on chat. What do you think? Which of these would you supply for manual auto-scaling policy? A, desired capacity. B, time to scale up. C, maximum CPU utilization. Or D, scaling condition. What do you think, chat? What is it? Which of these would you supply for a manual auto-scaling policy? A, B, C, or D? And while you're at it, let me see if I can. Karthikeyan Balaswamy, I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong. But anyway, thanks for your answer. Thanks for joining. You say D. You say D, scaling condition. Who else? Do we have any more answers? Does anybody else chat? No, or you don't need to know it. There's no shame in getting it wrong. It's about learning. This is really about learning. So don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. You can put everything out, and it's totally fine. I get my things wrong. I've gone through so many AWS certifications in my career, and so many of my answers were wrong. That's just like it is. Anybody else? Do we have any other guesses as to which of these would you supply for a manual auto-scaling policy? And once everybody has, not everybody, but once we've gone through a couple, A, desired capacity, Hari Prasad, it says A, desired capacity. Pradipa says B is time to scale up. Yes. Anybody else? Oh, we have new people on the chat on the stream, which is really nice. So for everybody, which of these would you supply? I will go through all of them. I will give you the answer first. I'll give you the answer first, and then I'm going to go through all of them and why are they right or wrong. And actually, Hari is correct. It's A. It's the desired capacity. And I'm quickly going to go through these and why it is. So what we are talking about here is a manual auto-scaling policy. And if you do an AWS certification or any certification whatsoever, it is really important to read the question and try to understand the question and see what's in there. And there's one word in here that's really important, and that's the manual. Which of these would you supply for a manual auto-scaling policy? In a manual auto-scaling policy, just like in every other auto-scaling policy, you would provide a desired capacity. The second one, time to scale up. This technically, this doesn't really make any sense. And there's a very important thing that you might want to remember is the difference between scaling up and scaling out. To scale up and down means vertical scaling. To scale in and out, this is horizontal scaling, and there's a very important difference. Vertical scaling, so scaling up and down, means replacing a machine with a bigger machine. That's scaling up. So if you have a database, that's how we used to do this in the past. We have one server, and that server isn't big enough anymore, so we need to buy a bigger server and copy the database on that or the server on that one. That's scaling up. But what we do with auto-scaling in AWS is we scale in and out. So we add additional instances. We don't make the instances bigger. We add and remove additional ones. And that's scaling in and scaling out. And that's the indication in this answer, time to scale up Doesn't make any sense in the context of this question, because auto-scaling doesn't scale up. It scales in and out. So you increase or decrease the number of instances. You don't increase the size of the instance. The next thing, maximum CPU utilization. This is something that is important if you have an automatic auto-scaling policy. So a metrics-based auto-scaling policy. This is where you set up an alarm for the maximum CPU utilization, and once that is reached, you want to scale out. You want to create new instances. But that's for the automatic auto-scaling. That's not for the manual. The manual really is, I go in there and I scale out or I scale in. Of course, I might look at the CPU utilization, but that's not one of the things that I supply. And the last one, the scaling condition, this also does not apply to manual auto-scaling. It applies to automatic auto-scaling. So whenever you to event-based auto-scaling or metrics-based auto-scaling, the scaling condition could be, for instance, a certain amount of CPU utilization. Once that's reached, I want more instances. Once a certain amount of CPU utilization is you go under a certain amount, you want to scale back in, you want to shut down additional instances. It could be CPU utilization, could be network, could be memory utilization, could be anything, just a scaling condition. And that's what's really important here. So Karthikeyan, yeah, I got your name right. Probably a little bit. You're just being polite. Anyway, so D makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for manual auto-scaling. It makes sense for event-based or metrics-based auto-scaling. This is that. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free and ask. Let me know. If anything is unclear that I'm explaining, please let me know. Good morning, Yosan. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon for me. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. And Yosan, good to see you. Great that you're here. For everybody, if you type !raffle, like here, like I do now, if you type !raffle, you take part in the AWS Credit Raffle that I have today. Yeah, now I'm joining the raffle. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, good. Next question. Yes, thank you so much. Next question. Let's see. Which type of load balancer operates on the transport layer? Is it A, the classic load balancer? And I got that wrong, to be honest. I got that wrong. Is it A, classic load balancer? Is it B, application load balancer? Is it C, the network load balancer? Or D, the classic and network load balancers? Which one do you think? Which one do you think it is? And bonus question, ALB, the application load balancer. That's Yosan's answer. Anybody else? A network load balancer. Okay. Good. So this is hey Soibo, great to see you. We're speaking English today because this is a show being broadcast to a global community. We've got people from all over the place, and if you want, please just put in the chat, where are you from? Where are you located? I'm in Germany. In northern Germany, we have a very unusual weather here. It is sunny and has been for quite some time, which is really unusual. Usually it's raining all the time. It's raining and stormy and everything. So Shubham says B. B is the application load balancer. And actually, as I said, I got that right. Yosan is calling in from the US. Oh, it's pretty early for you, isn't it? If I remember correctly, you're in Texas. Is that right? Or Arizona, somewhere in that area. I'm not sure about that. Shubham is from India. Hari is from India. SPC is from India. I know that Soibo is from Germany. And so I'll get back to the question. And the correct answer is, and as I said, I got that wrong as well. Houston, Texas. Yeah, right, Yosan. So the correct answer is classic and network load balancers. So network load balancer is right, of course. I would have known that because the transport layer, the NLB works on the transport layer, which is what makes it so fast as opposed to the application load balancer. But what I didn't know is that the classic load balancer used to work on both the application, and the transport layer. This is something that I did not know. So the classic load balancer worked on both application and transport. And the network load balancer, of course, this is the transport layer. This is what's working on the transport layer. Vinish, Columbus, Ohio. It's pretty early at your place too, isn't it? Must be around 8 o'clock, something like that. 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Pretty early. Nice to have you all on the call. Kayan is from India as well. That's great. So that is really important to remember. The classic load balancer used or works on the transport layer and the application layer. The application load balancer, just as the name says, only works on the application layer. And the network load balancer, as the name says, works on the network or transport layer. It's 9:30 a.m. Yeah, it's, what is it here? It's 3:30 p.m. over here right now. For the folks in India, what time is it there right now? Is it like maybe 7, 6, 7, 8-ish, something like that? I don't know the time difference. And I don't know how many time zones you have in India. How many time zones do you span across? And while we're there, the next question. On which of the following does AWS Trusted Advisor not provide recommendations? And this, again, it's really important to read the question and maybe reread it. There's a not in there. On which of the following does AWS Trusted Advisor not provide recommendations? 1855 at your place in India. Nice. Yeah, and as the bot just said, you can just type !raffle to enter the raffle for AWS credits. So only one time zone in India. Oh, that makes it simpler. When I'm looking at the US, I always, when I'm working with, I've got many colleagues in the US, of course. We're a US-based company. When I work with them, I always have to understand which time zone they're in. Organizing accounts. D. Yeah, that's exactly the correct answer. Organizing accounts. Trusted Advisor helps with many things like reducing cost, improving fault tolerance, improving security, has ops advice and so forth, but it does not help or give any recommendations regarding the organization of accounts. There are services that, or there is a very specific service on AWS that basically implements lots of the best practices around the organization of accounts. Do you know what that is? It used to be a solution in the past, and it has become a full-blown service in recent years. Do you know what that is? Put that here. It's organizing accounts. So D was correct. So any idea what the service is called that helps you use best practices in organizing your account? Yes, AWS Organization, that is one service that basically helps you manage all your accounts inside of your organization under, have billing for all of them, consolidate billing, consolidate management. That's organization, that's right. But there's a very specific service that hasn't been around for that long, that helps you set up a multi-account organization using common best practices. Do you know what it is? I'll write it down. I'll write it in the chat. It's called AWS Control Tower. That's the service. AWS Control Tower helps you quickly set up a multi-account environment inside of an AWS organization, where you can have multiple accounts, a specific security account, an account where you can aggregate your logs. And then you have an account vending machine where people and teams really can go and say, I need a new account. And the account vending machine then creates a new account with all the guardrails and all the specifics in place that you need to have inside of the respective accounts. So if you work with multi-account, definitely have a look at AWS Control Tower. Cool. Next question. Oh, yeah, here we go. And this is something completely different. This is about networking and content distribution. What type of Amazon CloudFront distribution should you use for media streaming? We have the options we have is A, web distribution, B, media distribution, C, RTMP distribution, or D, edge distribution. What do you think? C RTMP. SPC says RTMP as well. RTMP, everybody's right. Nice, great. Do you know what it stands for? This is a bonus question. Do you know what RTMP stands for? What is it spelled out? And I'll type it in the chat, in my chat box, while you get a chance to answer. It's RTMP. Anybody any idea what that stands for? RTMP? You're almost correct. Oh, let me look it up, because I don't want to tell you anything wrong. RTMP acronym, but I think it's slightly different. Yeah, it's slightly different. It's what thing is, it is for media streaming, and that can be confusing, but it is not named after that. So it is called real-time messaging protocol, but it is used. It's been developed by Adobe. It's a proprietary protocol for. Yeah, Darth Coder has it right. Darth Coder, good to see you. Great to see you, Darth, and thanks again for reaching out to me. It's really great. If people, just for everyone else, Darth got in touch with me personally on LinkedIn. And it's always really great to see that I'm bringing value, that these shows are bringing value to people. Thanks for being here, Darth. And you're completely right. It's the real-time messaging protocol. Even though it's for media, it's a streaming protocol, originally developed by Adobe, but it's called real-time messaging protocol. But you were all correct. It is RTMP, the real-time messaging distribution, protocol distribution in this case. Cool. Next question. This is easy. Well, I say it is easy, but it's only easy if you work with it. Don't, as I said, don't be ashamed. Just put out what you think. There's no shame, no blame in getting it wrong. I get things wrong a lot, all the time, and I work at AWS. You can't know everything. You cannot know everything. That's just how it is. So the question, which of the following services is typically associated with Amazon ECS? And we already have some answers. C, ECR, ECR, ECR. Now, bonus question, what does ECR stand for? What does ECS stand for first? And what does ECR stand for? Do you know that? Now, write it in the chat while you're typing. ECS is... Hey, thanks for the follow. Yep. Hey, DBA Mechanics. I don't have any chat commands on Twitch, but never mind. That's it doesn't matter. So yeah, right. ECS stands for Elastic Container Service, and ECR stands for Elastic Container Registry. That's exactly right. So when you talk about ECS, you very often, or when you use ECS or EKS, for that matter, if you work with Kubernetes, say that 3 times in a row. Is Elastic Container Darth Coder writes something for storing registered AMI Docker images, Elastic Container Service for deploying AMI Docker images. Exactly, that's what it's for. Really good. So ECS are Elastic Container Service, and ECR is like Docker Hub. I don't know if you've ever worked with containers and with Docker, but Docker Hub basically is a container registry. And ECR is our own registry, and you can upload your private Docker images to ECR for your own use, but you can also, since a couple of months, you can also upload public images. So it can really be used by Docker, like similarly as a Docker Hub, where you upload your images and people can download them. So that's exactly right. ECR. The other ones are EMR stands for Elastic MapReduce, which is a service that helps with data processing, with data analytics. B is S3, the simple storage service. Everybody probably knows that one. It's our storage service. C, ECR, that's the correct one. And let me, here we go. ECR, that's the correct one. And D, ECC. As of now, I don't think we have a service called ECC. I think this is just there for distraction. I don't think we have one. Yeah, right. EMR is used with Hadoop. EMR really is based on EC2 instances where you can run your analytics workloads using Hadoop and a lot of tooling around Hadoop like Hive and so forth. Cool. All right. It's really great today with a lot of correct answers. Oh, we're done. Oh, that was quick. I'm sorry. For big data. Yeah, Yosan. That's for big data. I'll go back for a second because I don't want to finish up right now. Redshift is a service, basically a data warehouse in AWS. Redshift. Question for you. Does anybody know what type of database Redshift is? There are various types. There are relational, key value, document, columnar, time stream, and so forth. Does anybody know what type of database Redshift is? I mean, RDS is clear. The relational database service, that's relational databases. DynamoDB essentially is a key value store. Yeah, Ola. Okay. Good. So I'm sorry, I'm hitting my microphone all the time. So we have, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So most of the answers are correct. However, what I'm looking for, exactly, SPC got it right. Exactly. It's a column-based database. And that's really interesting because of a column-based database that really helps if you store a relational database is table-based. So it stores table and row-based. It stores all the data all data for an entity in one row. So if you want to get the data, if you want to look for something, you have to go through all the rows. So if a row has in an RDBMS, like in a relational database management system, if a row has, let's say, 80 columns, and you are looking for data in a specific column, like you have a person, and a person has all kinds of information, like for instance, its age, but also the name, where they live, and so forth. But you want their age, and you have all these columns, all these data fields in a row, and you just want to look for all people in a certain age range. A relational database management system has to go through all the rows, and for each row, look at the age. And all the rows are stored together. So the searching on the actual disk is takes a lot of performance because it has to look through all the rows. And with the Shubham, I'll get to your question in just 1 second. Thank you for that. A columnar store, like or a column-based database like Redshift, works the following way. You don't have the rows stored as elements on your hard drive. You have the columns stored. So you have in one block of data, you have all the ages. In another block of data, you have all the names. In a third block of data, you have all the hometowns. So when you search for a specific age range for the database, it's really easy to go in there and just take all the ages and it doesn't have to load anything else, only looks at the ages, picks all the ages in the range, and then it looks for the data for the actual rows with the data for these. So searching in a column-based database is much quicker than it is in a relational database. Exactly, it's based on column store. I'll put up Shubham's question on the screen real quick. Okay, How many months should I prepare for Solutions Architect Associate before appearing for the final exam? That's a very good question, and that really depends on your experience, if you have ever worked with AWS before or not. You've been preparing for 1 month and you got 50% in the practice exam. I think 1 month, if you don't have experience with working with AWS, I think 1 month is not enough. It's, of course, it's different for everyone, and it depends on how much time you can put in there. If you can learn full time, it's totally different than if you just can take a few hours every now and then. But I think a month is a little bit on the low side. And another thing that's really important, if you got 50% in the practice exam, usually the practice exams are harder than the actual exams. So many of the exams I took, and I took the following exams. I took the Solutions Architect Associate, Developer Associate, Sysadmin Associate. I took the Solutions Architect Pro, the DevOps Engineer Pro, and the Security Specialty Certification. And for all of those, I did a practice exam. And for many of those practice exams, I didn't pass. I failed the practice exams. But when I then sat the actual exam, I passed them, because the practice exams are really hard. Yeah. For you, Amit, my questions are very similar. So first of all, Bruce, thanks for the question. My questions are very similar to the exam question, and that's what this is about. This is why I'm doing this show, and this is why I'm doing the playlist. And I'm going to give you a link to the playlist if you don't have it already. I'm putting out these questions, 3 questions a week. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every 2 weeks I'm doing this show where I go through a couple of questions. But I'm going to put up the playlist link. It takes a second here. Copy link location. I'll put up the playlist link here in the chat. I put up, as I said, 3 questions a week. It's not even a minute per question. You can really go through those, and they're really similar to the exam questions, because I mean, I've taken lots of exams myself. I work at AWS. I know what they look like. They are not actually taken from the exam. I cannot do that, but they are very similar to the actual questions. So I know what questions are being asked. I take these and I change them a little bit, maybe talk about slightly different services or with slightly different questioning or answers. But in general, this is really close to what you can expect. So, okay, let's see. Let's have a look at the chat. For Amit, it took 5 months to go up to 75. Yeah, especially if you don't have the chance to really work a lot with AWS and your day-to-day work, it can take some time. Peter, good luck tomorrow. Please let me know. Please reach out to me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is this one. This one. Reach out to me on Twitter. Let me know how it goes. I'm really looking forward to know how it goes. Good luck with that. What else? What else do we have? Thank you very much for the video. Yeah, you're so welcome. That's what I like doing. I mean, if it helps, if it provides value, then I'm happy. And as I said, I'm putting these out. You can help me a lot. You can really help me by, I mean, everybody on YouTube tells you this, but for a reason. If you like this video, if you like my other videos, if you watch them, please like them or give me a comment or anything like that, because this helps YouTube understand what kind of people like to watch my videos, so that YouTube can recommend them to other people like yourselves, to other people who are also interested. So I don't want any random likes or subscribes by some people from the internet, because this doesn't really help me and it doesn't really help YouTube. So if you like this, and then please do me a favor, like the questions, like my videos, because that helps YouTube understand whom to show them to. So, okay, Bruce, there's one thing that you bring up, difficulty level and also scenario-based questions. One thing that I'm usually not doing as part of these 1-minute AWS quizzes are scenario-based questions, because they usually are longer and the possible answers are more intricate. And this is something as of now, I would like to use them, but I haven't really found a way to really use them in that format on video, because it's really hard. You have a lot of text to work through. And there are some scenario-based questions, and they are really important. And especially if you go for the professional certifications, you'll get a lot of scenario-based questions, because if you sit the professional exams, we just expect you to know about the services. We won't ask you which service is used for what. We will really ask you about situations where you have a customer that needs this and that, and it should be cost-effective and secure and whatnot, and all these things. And then you have 4 different answers, and all these answers are correct in some way or another, but there's one of the answers which really fits the requirements, which is really the best one. And this is really hard with the professional certification. You really need to know what you're talking about. The professional certification is nothing that you just take, study for, and then take, and then work. You have to work and then study for the certification, then take the certification. Okay. Another question. Would my system administrator experience be considered for DevOps engineer role, as I want to get more salary and a change? Yes, it totally would. Because especially in a DevOps environment where you need operational knowledge, you need people who understand how the underlying infrastructure works. Even though you might use things like containers or even serverless, it is still very helpful if you know how the underlying infrastructure works, because then you can understand if there's an issue, if you have trouble, if something doesn't work as you expect it to, then you can reason about it. Then you can think about it. You can understand why it may not work, or why what you could do. So even though with the cloud, many things change, and especially if you don't use VMs, like EC2 instance anymore, and go to more managed services, it's still extremely helpful if you have an operations background, if you have an sysadmin background, especially in a DevOps environment. Because most of the time you have developers, you have people with development experience, but you really need the folks who have operational experience as well. So that's really hard. And even if you focused on hardware in the past, I mean, in the end, our data centers at AWS, the data centers are computers and hardware and wiring and networking. And understanding how networking works, understanding how monitoring works, understanding the tools that are out there are really beneficial. So my recommendation to you, Shubham, would really be learn about the cloud, learn about DevOps, learn about how things are different in the cloud, and always try to go back and think about, okay, how does that relate to what I already know? Because if you're able to do that, you can really bring a lot of value to any kind of employer. So that's my recommendation. Sure, anytime. You're welcome. Good. Yeah, we don't need to stretch it long. Hey, Sasha. Hey, good to see you, Sasha. Sasha is an old buddy of mine. We've met many years ago. I don't know. Back in the day, I used to be a Microsoft.NET developer for some time. I did a lot. I did PHP, I did C# and .NET, I did Java, but I've been doing .NET for quite some time in the early 2000s. And this is when Sasha and I met. Sasha just showed up. For those on YouTube, you haven't seen him. Sasha just showed up on Twitch. It's always great to see you. Welcome to the stream. We're about to wrap up, so we're almost done. If you have any more questions, so let's see. I mean, this is around certifications questions, but if you want, we can always make a kind of AMA and ask me anything. If you want to know anything about AWS, not just the certification, but also services specifics, maybe even what it's like to work as a solutions architect at AWS. I mean, whatever you want. However, what I'm going to do now, if you haven't already, please type in the chat, type !raffle, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Here we go. Please type !raffle, and you are eligible. And oh, unfortunately, it doesn't pick it up if you do it on Twitch. because the chatbot's only monitoring YouTube. I haven't found out how I can make the chatbot monitor both. But if you're on YouTube, please join the raffle. If you're on Twitch, please join the YouTube stream, which is here. And then you can also join the raffle. Here's the link. You can also join the raffle. I'm handing out, let's say, how many people do we have on the chat right now? 13, 12 of, so let's say I'm gonna raffle 3 credits today. 3 times $25 today. Sounds good? I think that sounds good. Okay, but while you do that, let me see. Let me have a look at the chat. AWS Cloud Map. Any idea this service? I'm not sure I understand your question. You might be able to rephrase the question, please, so I can try and understand it. Another question, can you also put lab session video, please? I can do that, most probably as a stream. Yeah, this is definitely something that I can do. However, if you're interested in doing labs yourselves, I'm going to give you an address here. We have hundreds of free labs on AWS. And I'm going to put the link in here, AWS workshops. And they are curated by AWS people around all kinds of services. And they're free of charge. So if you want to try anything, just go to that address and try it out. Okay, all right. Siva, can you please tell about this service, AWS Cloud Map? And now let me have a look. Because as far as I know, I'm a little bit, because I've never worked with it. I'm looking at it real quick. I'm looking at it real quick. Yeah, because I have not worked with it, and I'd rather not answer any questions that I don't really have the answer to. And Cloud Map basically is a discovery service, but I won't be able to explain it right now. I'm sorry about that. I just want to be transparent. I can't know. Nobody can know everything about AWS, and I certainly can. I'm an old guy. I mean, I forget things every day. However, so I'm really not able to answer this. However, you can find a lot of information about it here. I'll put it here in the chat for everybody who wants to look it up. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm the wrong person to ask for this specific service because I've never worked with it. Do we have anything else in the chat? No. Okay. All right. So then, if everybody's on the raffle, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 folks on the raffle, including myself. So if I win, I'll run the raffle again. So we've got 14 people watching, 2 on Twitch, 12 on YouTube. So if anybody wants to join, please come. If you're on Twitch, please come watch the YouTube video because my bot isn't able to monitor Twitch right now. I'm trying to change that. And just type !raffle. And I would say in 3 minutes from now, I'm going to do the raffle. Having that said, where's my PowerPoint? Here we go. I really have to thank you for being around again. It's fun because there's so much engagement in chat, and I've been streaming for some time, and every now and then I'm explaining things, I'm talking a lot, and that's fine. But whenever there's engagement in the chat, like in these sessions, it's really a lot of fun. Yosan, you need to type the exclamation mark first. So like I do here, !raffle, all small letters, !raffle like this. And then you're part of the raffle. It's so much fun if there's engagement. I really appreciate you being here. Please like this video, like my other videos if you watch them and if you like them. And one thing is very important. At Amazon and at AWS, we are a data-driven company. So we really try to understand what we can do better So please fill out this survey. It is anonymous. We don't collect any data about you. This is an anonymous survey, and this is just for me to understand what I can improve, how you like it. So please take this address, and I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. And it's here. Here's the link. Please fill out the raffle. It's just a few questions. It's nothing. It's half a minute at most. And it really helps me understand what I can improve, what I can make better, or if you just like what you're seeing. Good. So I think it's about time for the raffle, isn't it? Where's my chatbot? Here we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 participants. So I will raffle 2 credits. If we get to 12, I'll raffle 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll give it 2 more minutes. If we get another participant in the raffle, I'll raffle 3 credits worth $25. One thing that's really important, if you already won a credit in my show, it's not about other shows or anything else. If you already won a credit in my show and you win again, you get another credit code. You cannot use that on the same account, but you can always use that on another account or give it to a friend or whatever you would like to do. So you're free to do that. Just FYI. Let me pull down this real quick here. Okay, cool. So how many do we have? So we have 11. Siva. Oh, Siva's Siva, I think you're in there already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, you know what? I'll count myself. We're 12. I'll start the raffle now. Close entries. So now chatbot should close the entries and yeah, you can no longer enter the raffle. So first winner. I'm gonna click. Katyan, yeah, you're in there already. So never mind. Yosan, if you didn't claim it, please get in touch. Get in touch on LinkedIn. I'll give you the address. LinkedIn. I'll give you the address for you all. If you win, please get in touch on LinkedIn or on Twitter. And let me know. And let me know your username on YouTube. So I'll pick the first winner. Let's go. Pick the winner. And let's see. I know it already. It showed me already. I hope it's going to show up in the chat. I know who it is. It's Peter. Congratulations, Peter. Peter, I wish you good luck tomorrow. And no matter if you pass or fail, I know you will pass. It will be fine. However, here's $25 worth of AWS credits. Please get in touch with me either through Twitter or LinkedIn, and I will send you a credit code that you can use. Now, the second one. What about the second one? Okay. And we'll take it. Yeah, Hemanand Rajendran has won a credit voucher of $25. Congratulations. And the third one, we have number 3. Vinish Naya has won the AWS credit voucher. Congratulations. As I said, please get in touch on Twitter or LinkedIn, and I will make sure that you get, or you can either send me a mail at in a second. Here you go. This is my email address at AWS at Amazon. You can also send me a mail and claim your credits there. Congratulations. I will be online again 2 weeks from now at the same time, and I will continue putting out videos every 2 days during the week. So certification quiz questions, these shorts, these less than 1 minute certification quiz questions. Please watch the playlist. Here's the playlist if you haven't done so. And if you prepare, I'll put the link here. If you prepare for your exam, Some people have already told me that they have used my playlist to prepare for the exam and they passed, and that is really great. My LinkedIn name is Dennis Traub, and the address is, let me pick it up real quick again. My LinkedIn address is this one. Should be, at least. Let me see. Is it? I'll try. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Get in touch. And please make sure, and I'll put that up here again, please make sure to fill out the survey. This is really helpful for me because the studio link isn't working. The studio link isn't working. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was an internal link. That was my, sorry. I'll grab, I grabbed the correct one. Give me a second. Yeah, I gave you the link from my admin interface from YouTube, and this of course doesn't work because it is my thing. Let me see. See. Here's my playlist. AWS practice question shorts. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, cool. Please, as I said, fill out the survey. Come back again 2 weeks from now, next week, the week after next on Friday. And as always, I'm happy to help. Reach out to me if you've got any questions. Reach out to me on LinkedIn or on Twitter, and keep on building. Take care. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.